Good morning, everyone. We're going over RAM kits and drinking coffee. Okay. Oh, we got another subscriber. Thank you. Okay. Oh, let's say, where's my sub box? There it is. We will go into this first, talk about this first a little bit. We'll go over to what I have set up with some kits of RAM that I've used. Go into the real stuff here, which kind of makes sense. So 16 gigabyte continues to be the current sweet spot for many users. It's true, 16 gigabytes seems to be still very good for most games. Some games you're going to want 32 gigabytes, but for most part, 16 gigabytes seems to be the good spot. Advertised XMP memory speeds might not be possible on AMD-based motherboards. It's true, you should have, or if you have AMD, you should be looking at Expo, so any XMP memory speed, you should be looking at the Expo to make sure it does have the memory speeds for AMD. It's still not a guarantee that it's going to work, but most times it does work. For Intel, almost everything works for the guaranteed speeds for the XMP. It does depend on the motherboard though, so you really have to look for that. Dual rank memory is faster than single rank memory. Tests indicate that your dual rank memory kits outshine single rank ones on AMD and Intel platforms. However, the performance difference is smaller on modern platforms. You could get by with single rank memory kit if you're not chasing the ultimate performance. So single rank is really good for certain things. It just doesn't have to do another whole loop throughout the memory for it. Main thing for like dual rank and single rank is not much. There's not much difference except for if you're doing a lot of benchmarking, single rank technically is better. It's going to give you better performance in single score and multi-score just because it's better. It's just less it has to do. Always buy a single memory kit for the capacity you want. Yes, one thing I've always said is you don't want to buy two different kits of RAM, even if they are the same kit of RAM. You want to buy just one kit of RAM. They've already been used, like put together for a reason. Just use one kit of RAM. So if you're new into PCs and that, you should just look at one kit of RAM. If you're looking for 128 gigabytes, make sure it is just one kit. You're not going to buy a kit later on because it could be different Micron memory, different Hynix memory, or Samsung memory. So like if you're using XMPs and you do buy two different kits of RAM, the XMP might not work or be very unstable. I want the best plug and play experience to minimize manual intervention. Select a memory kit that aligns with your processor's official supported memory frequency. For instance, DDR5 5600 is a plug and play for AMD Zen 5 chips, whereas DDR5 6400 CU DIMMs for Core Ultra 200S, which is, it's true, 6400 is for the CU DIMMs, but it's also 5600 for like 13900Ks, 13th or 14th gen CPUs. I do believe that even works for their 12th gen CPUs as well. 5600 to plug and play. So what we can get into here, some G.Skill Trident Z5 Neo RGB DDR5 6000 kit. This is a 32 gigabyte kit. There's your model number and that if you're looking for a kit like this. 2x16, so 32 gigabytes, 6000 expo, which is good for AMD. Timings is CL30, which is really good. 1.35 volts is not bad. And you can find these at Amazon, of course. Reasons to buy: superb performance, cheaper than the competition, AMD Expo certified. Reasons to avoid: early adopter price, which is they're going to be a little bit more expensive. G.Skill does make not cheap kits of RAM. They do make cheaper platforms, but most part, G.Skill makes more expensive RAM kits than some for the exact same, basically, performance. It's hard not to find reasons not to like the Trident Z5 Neo RGB C30 memory kit, which immaculately out of the box. It's again just, it's only 6000 C30. It's not crazy, especially for a 32 gigabyte kit. It's not a crazy kit. DDR5 processing still fluctuating around right around $100 for this kit. Trident Z Neo 6000 CL30s are around 120 price tag, which doesn't look that awful, they say. It's true, it's not bad. And they also got another G.Skill Trident Z5 RGB DDR5 6000 kit. This is a CL36 kit, XMP model. So you could put this down to CL30 if you wanted to. Probably 1.35 volts. Same thing, right? Because if you just go up, you can see 1.35 volts. Probably just raises to 1.35 and still gets CL30. Tight timings, good OC potential, cost an arm and a leg. Yeah, these kits do cost quite a bit more. Like $140, I think they are, $150 for 32 gigabytes. Corsair Vengeance DDR5 5200 4x48, so it's a 192 gigabyte kit. Insane. 192 gigabytes. I really want to know if you use this amount of RAM, if you actually need this amount of RAM, because that's just insane. Insane. Insane in the membrane. Specifications, CMK, blah, blah, blah. Capacity, 4x48, 192 gigabytes. Data rate, DDR5 5200. You probably could overclock this to 5600. I'm not sure if you get the 6000. It's a big density stick, so it'd be really hard to put those up. Voltage is only 1.25 volts, but CL38. Which 30 to 38 isn't a big difference. Like, you won't feel it that much, I don't think. Performance wise, it could perform a little different with the bigger tasks, but all in all, CL38 is fine. Abundant quantity, capacity, great build quality, available with and without RGB. Reasons to avoid: DDR5 5200. That is like the lowest kit I have. These are Corsair Vengeance 5200, CL38, no, CL40. These are like almost one of the first batches of Corsair Vengeance 5200 kits. CL40 perform great too. Not much overclocking available for these ones here. You can lower the cast latency on this, but like for actual frequency, you're not gonna get much. I might be able to overclock them to 5800. I've only worked on them for a bit. Seems like 5600 for these kits, these Corsair Vengeance. 5600 seems to be the nice spot for it for tuning. Again, 1.25 volts. I think these are 1.3s. No, these are 1.25 as well. Well, I'm not big on speed. The Vengeance DDR5 5200 C38 is the kind of memory kit that will appease users. Use a lot of memory. Yeah, a lot of memory. 192 gigs. This use case scenario includes professionals such as content creators, software developers, and data scientists. I'm not sure how many content creators are going to be using this kind of memory. The most content creators out there, they're only dealing in 4K. So editing in that, I don't know. I find my 48 gigabyte kit works pretty good and doesn't require any more than 48. I think I only use roughly 26 gigabytes while editing some videos that are really big videos. It's just faster to scroll through while you're editing in that, so that way you can speed up the editing process because it can hold more. Yeah. 5200 speed's not great either. These kits are, yeah, $650 kits for 192 gigabytes, which is absolutely insane. To be honest, it's for that amount of RAM, it is not a bad price. It seems really high, yes, but this price is not very high for 192 gigabytes, as some kits are thousands of dollars. Another G.Skill Trident Z5 RGB. These are a DDR5 6400 4x48, so 96 4x48. No, it's more than 96. It'd be 2x48. So they got this wrong. Yeah, they got this top part wrong. 4x40, it's not. It's a 2x48 kit. So 96 gigabyte kit, two sticks of 48 gigabytes, high density kits like crazy. 6400 XMP is really good in my opinion. For this 96 gigabytes, good. CL32, that's also nice to see. Voltage 1.35 volts, anything under 1.45 volts, it's really nice to see, especially for high density kit. Normal capacity, strong performance, fairly priced. And you can go to Amazon, check this out right here. Lacks AMD Expo support. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, okay, there's the price right here. $340, which isn't terrible for 96 gigabytes. That's decent XMP speed. Decent. And now we got some DDR5 4800 kit here, 2x16, 32 gigabyte kit. These are 1.1 volts, which I have a kit that I'll be showing later on. Performance has been pretty good, which is T-Create here. These are not Samsung, so I could show, hopefully, if it shows. Let's see if it shows. So these are, yeah, there we go. So these are not bare die. These do have a little bit of, I don't know if you want to call it cooling. It's not, they are aluminum heat sinks on them, but they're not the greatest for keeping the memory chips cool. These are Micron memory. So these are not Samsung, but they are Micron. Also, it's a 5600 kit. So even though these right here that we can see are 4800 kits, they're 1.1 volts because that's like the standard, this JEDEC voltage, not JEDEC speeds though. So these 4800 kits are overclocked a bit. JEDEC is 46, CL46. So CL40 is not terrible at 1.1 volts. So these are very low voltage for CL40 technically. Only 4800 megatransfers per second, but you can find these very cheap. And these are Samsung B-Die, which is what it is. Samsung is not really For the gamers, Samsung for DDR5 is for workstations and stuff like that. You just want a cheap kit of bare dies. Samsung works really good. Green PCB for some. Most of them are green PCBs. Not available as a kit because Samsung, like I said, is not doing that for their DDR5. They're strictly more or less doing it for like data centers and stuff like that. A lot of their kits went to the data centers because they were probably fairly cheap and low voltage and very stable. What if they even say that here? Yeah, see, some modules sell for 5450, but 5450 for generally just one stick of bare die is generally what it goes for. To find a kit of 32 gigabyte, I don't believe you'll find it at 5450. This is generally just for one stick, 5450. Team Group T-Force Extreme ARGB DDR4 3200. So if you're on a DDR4 platform, I've worked with DDR4, I will be going over some kits of RAM that I've used for DDR4 that I prefer. Got a few kits here. This is from a viewer that sent it in to me. Have not used them yet. I do need to get another DDR4 platform as I sold mine a few years back now. But I'll go over kit of RAM that I've used that works really good for DDR4, especially if you're looking for frequency with some good timings for gaming. So yeah, these Team Group ones are 1.45 volts at CL14, which is actually not bad. These are probably a fairly decent kit, to be honest. CL14, 15, 15, 35, that's actually pretty good. 2x16, so 16 gigabyte, which again, a lot of people, that's all you really need for most gaming that you do. If you're looking to record while gaming, you're gonna need a high-end CPU anyways, and then you're definitely gonna want 32 gigabytes, which is gonna put a lack on your like your frames, just due to the fact you're not gonna be able to do 3600 most of the time with 32 gigabyte kit. You need to do 3200, and it's not gonna be a cell 14. It'll be probably like CL16, 15. Superb performance, attractive aesthetics, good overclocker, cheapest kit in its category. And where they're saying 169, you can find these kits a bit cheaper than 169. Probably for like 120 right now, you can find these kits for. It's only a 16 gigabyte kit. You should be able to find them cheaper than $170. And we'll go over kits of RAM that I have been using, which is Patriot Viper Steels, which are, you can find these DDR4 4400s or even the 4000 kits, 2x8, which is 16 gigabyte kit. Yeah, these are CL19, but you can overclock the snot out of them. 1.45 volts, you can lower this down to CL14, CL15. And roughly keep DDR4 4000 at least. It's pretty good. Works really, really good. Like this kit of RAM. Has been very good for overclocking for hardwarebot.org for competitions and stuff like that. It's a very good kit. Very cheap. Reasonably priced. It is very reasonably priced for what it is. It is Samsung B-Die, which is great for overclocking. Pump in 1.6 volts and just keep lowering all the timings, basically keeping the frequency, and then you hit a limit on the actual timings with the frequency, but if you raise the timings, you can raise the frequency really good, which not a lot of kits of RAM can do that. Samsung B-Die is really good for doing that. Reasons to avoid: pricier than the closest performing kit. Not true. I find these kits, you can find these kits for a fairly good price, around $100. Top XMP profile specifically, no. This is also kind of not true. I had one of the cheapest, crappiest motherboards for it, and I was able to overclock mine to 4400. This 4000 kit, the 4400 CL17, I believe. without even raising the voltage. The voltage only go to 1.35 volt on my board, and I used 1.35 volts and was able to overclock the kit more and lower the timing. So they worked really good with not even like a 9900K or anything, like a 9000 series from Intel there, or 9th gen I should say, sorry. I had an i7 8700K. Worked really good, really good. Patriot Viper RGB, basically the same thing. It's a little bit lower of frequency, but lower timings. 1.35 volts. Pretty good. That's actually decent for a 3600. CL16. The other timings are not the greatest. They could be lower, but you could lower those by just raising the voltage anyways if you want to overclock them. So you could probably overclock these quite nicely. As long as they're Samsung B-die as well, but by these timings, I don't believe they are. I'd have to search this up in the database here and see if these are Samsung B-dies or not. Reasons to avoid. LED differs causes color merging - bleeding. Yeah. It's all probably one piece here. Patriot Viper 4s. DDR4 3200 kit. See it. Less frequency, same timings, same voltage. Still pricier than budget kits. Top overclocking from a mid price 16 GB 2 DIMM kit. But yeah, I don't know. Would have to check them out. Probably not Samsung B-die. Corsair Vengeance. What kind of price actually did they have on it? Didn't have a price. Dang. Kit that costs less. Blah blah blah. Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro DDR4 3200 GB kit 4x8 32 gigs. Same timing, same voltage, lower frequency. With higher no, not even higher density, just 4x8. Didn't reach DDR4 4000. Ooh, that sucks. White light diffuses cast pastel hues. Ooh, what picky? That is very picky. Oh, Pridos aesthetics. I see. Patriot Viper Steels 3200 2x16 kit. Low timings at 1.35 volts. 3400. Again, I would also, like I said, prefer the higher frequency kits, just because even though it is 1.45 volts with the higher frequency kits, you can lower the timings manually by yourself anyway. So another DDR4 Patriot Viper Steel has been very good for the DDR4. So these are 2x32, so pretty high density kit, especially for DDR4. 1.35 volts, CL18. Those are high density for DDR4. 32 gigs. Like that there, you're gonna need certain CPU to be able to handle it. Not all CPUs are gonna be able to handle this. Content creators, professionals don't have the luxury of many DDR4 slots. You still need to be able to have a motherboard or a CPU that can handle a 32 gigabyte stick, 2x32. $240. That's actually decent for 32 gigs. G-Skill, another G-Skill. Trinzy Neo DDR4 3600, which I need to get some G-Skill DDR4 as well. CL16 is always nice. 3600. 2x16, so a little bit less denser, but 32 gigabytes, which is good. Good for most people, even nowadays. 1.35 volts. A little on the expensive side. Saying it's expensive, but they didn't put a price. They got their sample down CL13, which is really good. Transcend Neo memory modules come with XMP timings of 16, 16, 16, 36, which aren't the worst in the memory world. No, they're not. However, the DRAM voltage is set to 1.45 volts, which is pretty high for most. Like, because I overclock in that's low. It is pretty low. We tightened the timings to 13, 14, 14, 35 before the kit came to unstable. Very nice. So they did some work on that. It's always nice to see. Corsair Vengeance LPX, which... Corsair Vengeance LPX. These are 16 gigabyte kits, 32 gigs, I believe. Not 2x32, sorry. So 64 gigabyte kits. Data rate of 2666, so your stock JDAC at 1.2 volts, C16. It's always nice to see, but it's nothing. Very cheap kit, probably. If you need a cheap kit, it would work, especially for 2666, and it'll work on basically any CPU motherboard that you have. Should. 2666. 2133 or 2666 is basically good for every CPU out there for DDR4. And we can look at some prices. G.Skill Trading Z is 110 US. Corsair Vengeance 4x48 kits are 882. Vipers 4400 kits 87 US. It's US price, about $100 for Canadian. And that's generally what I find those Viper kits go to. The 4000, 4400 are about $100 Canadian. Patriot Viper RGB 160. Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro 188. And then the Patriot Vipers, yeah, 67, which is generally what you find these kits for the 3200s. Patriot Viper Steels, DDR4 64 gigs is 339. G.Skill Trade Z, DDR4 3600 C16 is 152. And the Corsair Vengeance LPX 2x8 is 53.99. So that is probably one of the better kits that you want to be looking at if you're looking for a budget RAM kit for DDR4. You find these very cheap, and that's Canadian. So US, you can find them probably even cheaper. Now, let's see if I can get a notepad here. Where is it? Can we see my notepad? No. Why? There we go. Okay, so we got the notepad. Get the notepad. All right. Okay, so we got DDR5 RAM kits that I've used, which is Corsair Dominator Platinum Titanium, the 7200 to 8000 kits, 32 or 48 gigabyte kits, CL36 or lower is recommended. Now these kits are not cheap. Hey, how's it going, Paul? Going good. I should drink coffee. Hopefully you guys got your morning coffee as well, or if not, your morning whatever. Yeah, so these kits here I have used currently in the system is a Corsair Dominator Titanium 7200 CL36 kit. It's with Hynix M die, very good for overclocking. Do need to get some 32 gigabyte Hynix A die still to work on, but we'll get to it. Okay, so next kit will be G.Skill Z5 8000 plus kits. Just from everything I've read on and talking with hardcore overclockers and that, these kits are really good to use. 32 gig over 48 gigabyte kits. They generally do the 32 gigs in Hynix A die, and the 48 gigabytes is Hynix M die. Patriot Vipers, the 7,000 plus kits. You can find these very cheaply, I would say cheap compared to others. They're almost cheap as the T Crate. Nice, man. Hopefully work's going good. Yeah, so the Patriot Vipers, you can find these fairly cheap. The 7,000 plus kits, 32 gigabyte kits. I don't recommend the 48 gigabyte kits, but 32 gigabyte kits for sure. CL36 or lower is what you're kind of looking for nowadays, especially. You want to look for 36 or lower. The T-Crate Classic, so I do have that as well. I've used and have some videos of me using these. These are the T-Crate Classics. 5600 to 7200 kits are good. The 7200 kits of 32 gigabytes are generally Hynix A die, which is perfect, especially if you're looking to manually overclock them. Crazy good. The 5600 kit, you can find some in Hynix A die, but unfortunately I got Micron, so the best I was able to overclock them to were CL46 1.1 volts at 6,000 megatransfers per second. Very stable kit of RAM, but you can't overclock them very well. Can't really tighten the timings as tight as you want. They perform very well, like very well, but they're okay. The 7200 kits though are what you're looking for, because generally they are Hynix A die, and you can overclock the actual snot out of them. Like, you can get the 7200 kits to 8,000 plus, as long as you have the CPU motherboard that can do it. Corsair Vengeance 5200 kit. So, like these ones here, again, these are Micron, they're not Hynix. Samsung, again, are not. To find Samsung in some sort of heat sink, not just bare die, is very rare, because again, Samsung does DDR5 for the data centers and that, and you can't find them for good frequencies. You're just gonna find them around 5600, maybe 5200. But yeah, Corsair Vengeance, these 32 gigabytes or 64 gigabyte kits are really good. CL40, CL38 is generally what you're gonna find them for a good price, but they're more or less going to be Micron, by the way. TRFC goes down nice and low, but you can't really lower any other timing that is helpful in a way, especially the cast latency. It doesn't matter if you raise the voltage or not. Micron voltages go, they're weird. As soon as you go hit 1.4 to 1.45 volts, they just either really unstable or just won't even boot up for some reason. And that's with that kit, or even this kit, the other kit I have. Be careful with lower frequency Corsair kits if the timings are fairly loose. They are known to use a lot of Micron. Yep. If you search up these Corsair Dominator, either the Platinum or Titanium, if you look at the Corsair Dominator Platinum or Titanium 7200 kits, so these 7200 kits, CL36, 46, 46, 117 or 115, whatever it is for the last one there, you're going to be, if it's a 48 gigabyte kit, it will be Hynix M die. That's just a guaranteed. If it's a 48 gigabyte 7200 CL36, it's basically guaranteed to be Hynix M die. Everyone that bought the Titaniums with the 7200 CL36 got M die. The M die was produced not too long before these kits came out, and the Corsair put their Titaniums for that, and their Plats as well, 7200 CL36. They're 48 gigabyte kits to Hynix M die, which is really good. But yeah, if you go for like these Corsair Vengeance, like these ones here, the cheaper kits, they use Micron. Not great. Yeah, Micron DDR5 is absolute. I've tried for weeks. As soon as I got these T-Crates, I was like, yeah, okay, well, hopefully these are what Buildzoid said, or a whole bunch of other people said on even Amazon. Oh, this is from Buildzoid. These have Hynix A die. And I got Micron. Freaking Micron. Terrible, man. Terrible. Because I already had Micron, one of the first batches of Micron out there, and not great, man. Not great. Very, very not happy with it. Yeah, so this Corsair Vengeance, like the first Micron that were produced. Um, I'm not sure what die you would want to call them. I just know they're Micron. Seal 38 5600 is the best I can get. Seal 38 5600 from a 5200 kit. These newer Micron that came out, it's 5600 kit. I can get them up to 6000 fairly easily, to be honest, at 1.1 volts. Completely stable too. Timings are roughly the same. Roughly. Yeah, so these T crates are CL46 or lower. If you look for, like I said, there's some T crates. Most 7200 kits are lower than CL46. You look for the 36 kit again, 7200. Hynix A die for the 32 gigabyte kit. Ugh. And you can overclock the snot out Hynix A die. Doesn't matter if it's with T crate. The cheaper DDR5 RAM kits manufacturers out there, but Hynix A die, as long as it's Hynix A die, you can overclock them quite a bit, lower the timings crazy amount. Yeah, these Corsair Vengeance 5200, 32 or 64 gigs are great. All these kits are good if you need more RAM. Then Corsair makes decent price kits for 128 and 192 gigabyte kits. And they do. They're cheaper, but again, Micron. DDR4 Patriot Viper Steel works really good. Most of the kits you're looking for are the 4000 megahertz or higher, 4400 or 4000. Generally Samsung B die. Generally. But yeah, that's Tom's Hardware on that, and I kind of agree with a lot of these kits. They make sense. Again, I do need to get some G.Skill, try them out, see how well they perform, if they're any better or not. Most times it just matters on what die you're using for DDR5. As long as it's Hynix A die or M die, as long as your motherboard and CPU can handle it, you can overclock the snot out of them. I'm generally running at 7200 CL36. Generally. 1.4 volts. Oh, sorry, 1.35. Let's check out. Pretty sure these are 1.35. Ooh, that is loud as fuck. Ooh, what we got? 1.4 volts, yeah. Yeah, 1.4 volts for 7200 CL36. I've gotten these kits, these Hynix M die, I've got them down to CL28, 7200, and they work quite well. I'm very happy with it. I've been doing a lot of testing for games and that, from 4800 mega transfers all the way up to 7600, and doing a whole bunch of tests from different cast latencies up for same timings. A lot of videos on those. Again, I'm not sure what they're talking about for content creators with their like 96 gigs or 192 gig kits. I don't get why they're saying for content creators. Cause that's crazy. No, you either? Yeah, early stream. Been trying to do some morning streams. I used to like doing the morning streams, because I'd just be on for as long as I could. Still haven't bought any PC hardware. Yeah, the only thing I've bought so far for a while now is, well, the 13900K a while ago, but the Amazon's cheapest CPU block. This morning after one of my live streams, started overclocking an X5650, got up to 5 gigahertz right now, and I'm gonna try to do some 5.2 gigahertz on water on it. And yeah, the Amazon block is working really good, man. For $20, $20 Canadian, it's great. Yeah, when Dave, yeah, he's still not happy. Dave is still not happy. It's 19.6 degrees Celsius in here, 23% humidity. Humidity's too low, so he's not happy. Poor Dave. Poor Dave. Yeah, so I was, just been working on X5650, 6 core, 12 thread Xeon. It's LGA 1366. Right now it is overclocked to 5 gigahertz. And I'm gonna try to get some records on it. The overclock for frequency on it, I think it's 5.6 gigahertz. Top 5 is 5200, just over 5200, which is really good. So I'm gonna try to get 5.2 gigahertz out of it. Let's see. 5 gigahertz seems to like 1.15 volts, which is pretty high voltage. But checking out everyone else's voltage, they're running at 5.2. 5.2, they're running around 1.6 volts. So it seems to be in the range of them. Oh, you changed 11900 KF back over to a bigger case. What case? I like big cases. Like my Antec P100 silent case. Oh, you never trade? Oh. What case though? I'm gonna be doing some more tests with Micron. Again, these aren't bad. The Micron's not bad, especially if you're looking for a cheaper kit of RAM. These are really good. They perform just fine. And very stable, like through Y-Cruncher for 2.5B just fine, 5B just fine. Never did any OCCT yet, but if it's running Y-Cruncher 2.5B just fine, then I think they'll be fine. 6,000. That's 6,000. 1.1 volts. And then I've already done a lot of work on these. Just haven't made these Corsair Vengeance. I haven't done a lot of videos about them, but I don't know. I don't know if I should. I don't even know why I still have them. I should just sell them for $50 for someone who wants them. And then currently saving up some money for another motherboard, so that way I can make an actual streaming PC, and then I'll have my daily PC. Not sure if I'm gonna do DDR4 because I do have, again, thank you donators, 6400 gigabyte kit here, DDR4, Corsair Vengeance, LPX, which are plenty of RAM for what I'll need. Even though I do have other kits of RAM, but 64 gigs would be a little bit more helpful for some things. Just not sure what I'm going to be getting. I want another i7 8700K because they're really fun, really fun CPU to overclock. Handles RAM very well too, but heard the 9900K works really good as well. But I also have my 12600K, which I would like to throw in a motherboard. DDR4 would be just fine. I do have lots of DDR5 kits that I could throw into it as well to make another streaming, well, to make a streaming PC. I did use the X5650 for streaming PC. It works just fine. It's just the USBs are starting to go in it. Like, I don't know, they went from USB 2.0 to USB 1.0 and it's just not very good. And the i7 3770K is I don't know, 4-core 8 threads, not the greatest when doing 4K stuff. And then also doing like what you see here. I don't have a back screen or anything like that. I'm using the 30 series card for getting rid of the background, which is the background remover. It doesn't perform very well that way. It's kind of stuttery. It's not very good 60 frame recorder. So, am looking at getting an i7 4770K. The prices of them went way down all of a sudden for some reason here in Canada, so was looking at that. I do have a motherboard already for it. Just would like to get some more kits of DDR3, as my kits are all bear dies that they're not bad. They're not bad bear dies, but I'd like to get some Corsair Dominators, or even some any good kit. Technically, the Corsair Dominators are pretty expensive for DDR3, the kit that I want. Lastly, memory speeds make a big difference if you're gaming with integrated. What? Why would you? Well, I guess some people are using the G's, but I'm not sure why anyone would use integrated graphics at all for gaming, especially gaming. That's brutal, to be honest. In short, the best RAM is usually fast if you're gaming without a dedicated graphic card. Run an AMD Ryzen system. If you go back through some of the videos I've done too with gaming, even with a dedicated, like I've only did it with dedicated, haven't used integrated for gaming at all ever. But for dedicated, RAM frequency does help a lot. The actual like cast latency does not. It's not really helpful in much ways. Like it doesn't. I didn't see any frame differences from going from CL30 up to CL40. I didn't see any differences. But for frequency, I went from 4800 all the way up to 7200 on one test for a couple of games. And yeah, there's a big difference, especially like the new game that's came out. A lot of people are playing is Marvel Rivals. It's like easily 30 frames gained for just going from a lower frequency up to a higher one. 7200 was a lot better. Haven't done a whole lot of timings yet, but I will be doing a video here soon on going from tight timings on something like 5600 up to 7600 and showing like better timings beats out frequency, because it does, even for gaming. But yeah, I think that's about it for that one here. Let's see if anyone else has good it's 2025 instead of Tom Hardware here. Something that I kind of trust, because Tom Hardware, I like their reviews and they actually do a lot of work. I've been making notes for what to look for next. Nice. Yeah, I've been taking notes for a long time, putting a lot of things in my wish list as well, because I've read a lot about it. I've had talked to people that use the kits. Top overclockers prefer certain stuff, and for doing a lot of overclocking that I do, I'm looking for decent stuff. They could even be cheap kits. It's just I'm looking for overclocking for gaming. It's what I have now, works just fine. Oh, let's do DDR5 RAM kits. What kind of like you guys stay with the same CPU, 11900 KF, or just looking to upgrade your RAM? PC Gamer, Tech Radar. I guess we can do some Tech Radar here. Switch that over to that. Yeah. Alright, so now we are on Tech Radar. We look at some of the kits that they are saying is good. Again, I use Corsair Dominator Titanium, so what they're showing here, I got them because I knew they had the Hynix M die, and they're fantastic. 48 gigabyte kit, plenty for most things that I do. And the top part here, you can take them off, put them on like a 3D printer, and 3D print your own design, put them together. Plus, what you can do with this kit is you can take the whole kit apart, the heatsink and all, and that's what I did. Since I have single rank, I copper modded my one side and put the original heatsink back on, and very, very good. Very happy with it. I don't really like water cooling, but if I get anything else, it's going to be an all copper if I can help it. Yeah, do that. If you'd like, I don't know if you, you've seen one of my old videos, um, I do a budget overclocking guide, and it's all copper. It's an all copper water cooled system. Fittings that I prefer, tubing that I prefer, just because I'll do chilled loop sometimes too. But it's really good. It's decent tubing. The tubing's gone up in price, but you can get cheaper tubing or different tubing. But everything I got, I think that whole water cool custom loop. So CPU block was 100, D5 pump was $100, so it's 200. The radiator was $50, I think it was $50 for the radiator, and tubing was $20. Like it was like under $400 custom water loop. It was very, very cheap. The fittings were $6 per fitting, so very cheap. Like, very cheap. And currently using that setup. Well, actually, the CPU block right now is Amazon's cheapest $20 block. Very happy with. No copper, not copper tube. You want to do copper tubing? No, I use so in the video that I did a while back, it was silicone tubing. It's a very flexible silicone tubing. I do have I could do a hard line if I wanted to have all the pieces for it, but since I take apart my PC so much and do a lot of overclocking, it has no point to be a waste of my time. But I could do a hard line. I would like to do a copper tubing, but I would do it like the way the one guy did it. Make a like an all copper PC build. He made it really small too. But yeah, what's running my the X5650 right now at 5 gigahertz is the $20 Amazon CPU block, and I got Corsair X5 D5 pump, whatever it is. That's not cheap. The cheap D5 pump that I got was a Thermaltake one, but the Corsair one right now is on it with the 240 mil copper rad, and that's by R. Cooper. If anyone's ever heard of R. Cooper. And they make all copper rads that are very cheap. I want to design a nice system where it comes apart easy, but it's hardline. Yeah, that's not easy to do, to make it where it comes apart easy, but you can design it so that way you can put, make it fairly easy. You just have to design it around, so like if you move or you want to change your RAM or change the NVMe drive, especially the NVMe drive, it's very difficult. Yeah, but man, I would say good luck on that. Definitely keep me up to date on that one, man. Because that'd be sick to see. I would like to do something like that too, but I would have to have like a dedicated, that's strictly, that PC is just for gaming or strictly for streaming, which I would like to do a streaming PC here soon. Like I said, just need to get a motherboard. Looking to elevate your gaming and computing experience, the best DDR5 RAM is a must-have for maximizing the potential of your PC. Well, yeah. What we got? Corsair Dominator Platinums, Corsair Vengeance, Patriot Viper Extreme 5s. I've read these Viper Extreme 5s are fairly decent. G-Skill Trident Z Neo, I would like a kit of those. These PNY, I'm pretty sure Professor has one of these ones, and he said they're, I'm pretty sure I helped him overclock these PNY ones. I think these were these ones. And they work really, really good. Really cheap too, like half the price of some kits. Kingston Fury Beast. And the best DDR5 RAM 2025. Corsair Dominator Titanium RGB. These are nice. Speed 4800 all the way up to 7800. Pass mark score tested at 4800. Why? Whatever. No single stick options available. You're not gonna find top of line kits for a single stick. You're gonna definitely find them in a kit. Single sticks you just find bare die most of the time. No non-binary modules yet. One of the priciest modules right now. Titaniums are pricier. Titaniums are more expensive, but you can do a bit more with titaniums than you can with the platinums. Not like overclocking and that, but just making them more customizable for yourself. Like I said, titaniums, you can take them apart, 3D print your own toppers for them. Yeah, so it's not that bad. My 48GB kit was about $400. Corsair Vengeance DDR5. 8GB, 16GB, 24GB. I didn't even know you can get 24GB kits. 4400. What? They make 4400 mega transfers per second for DDR5? I didn't know that. Affordable, strong performance, non-binary modules, basic design. Which, those don't look terrible. Like, these kits, these ones don't look terrible, okay? Like, they definitely don't look terrible. It's just, they're not the greatest kits. Especially if you're wanting more frequency, you want better timings. You're not going to find them in... Not for these Vengeance. Yeah, man, I've never heard of 24 gigs and 4400 mega transfer per second, but whatever. Guess they do have some kits. Patriot Viper Extreme 5. Yeah, 7600. Up to 8200 kits. These are, again, affordable. These are affordable. Not outrageously expensive. They're more affordable. 32GB kits are more affordable. Oh, okay, so they do make the... Oh, because it's single stick. That's why. They're saying single stick 24GB. Because that's why they're 16GB. They make 8GB? Not sure who would want to buy the 8GB, and unless you can overclock the snot out of them, but I've never heard of any of them. Any kits that are really good for 8GB DDR5. Yeah, 2x24 is what they're saying. 48GB kits. Because you're not going to find a 24GB stick generally. G.Skill Train Z Neo. Again, these are some of the ones I've already gone over from Tom's Hardware. Yep, same thing. 32GB kits is what they're really promoting on this one. You're not going to find them very, very cheap, but incredible performance for the price. It's true. They have some very good bins, and overclockability is really good for them too. There is a G.Skill right now competition on hardwarebot.org. If no one knows about it, you should go to hardwarebot.org. If you have G.Skill, see if you can match some of the scores out there. I do want to make a video here about me just overclocking my own kit of RAM, even though I don't have G.Skill, just to see what I can get, because it's whatever G.Skill kit of RAM you have, but it's core frequency, so CPU frequency 6000, which I can do. So like 7-zip and other tests. I'm pretty sure it's only 6 core as well, allowed 6 core 12 thread. In terms of performance, blah blah blah. Speed of 87,000, it's okay. 51 nanoseconds it's okay. And what you can do to figure out how fast your data speed is, use IDA64, and just run the, we can get the free IDA64 and just try it out and see what your DDR4 or DDR5 data speed is, and your actual nanoseconds for your latency. I think the best I got was 38 nanoseconds and 110 gigabits per second on a 12600K. Haven't done my 13900K yet, but that's what I got on a 12600K. It's really good. Basically at its theoretical limit. Kingston Fury Beasts. They look alright, I guess. 4,800 to 6,000 kits is what they're promoting here. So you're 2x16 more or less, and 2x24. So you get 32 or 48 gigabyte kits. And these PNYs XLR8, I'm pretty sure Professor has this kit, and these are really good. 6,800 kit I think he got, or 7,200. I think he got 7,200 kit, but they're really good. The timings right out of the box with XMP was really good. Canadian, $104 for Dominator Platinums. What? Whoa. Corsair Vengeance DDR5 for $89 Canadian. That's really good. I think I got, when these first came out, these Corsair Vengeance DDR5, like one of the first kits that came out. They were $160. They weren't cheap, but they've come down a lot, like way down in price. Way down. Patriot Viper Extreme 5s for $164. That's if you want the RGB. G-Skill Train Z Neos, the 6,000 kits are $180. Kingston Fury Beasts are $100. And these PNY XLR 8s, 6,200 C42s are $171 Canadian. I'm pretty sure Professor got them a lot cheaper than that for the 7,200 kit. He's US though. Experience a hardware writer. She was previously the hardware editor. Blah blah blah. Oh, for Tech Radar, nice. PC Gamer, trusted reviews, very nice. And that's it for this page. Those kits are good. Can't say, like, most of these kits were on the Tom's Hardware, so. Except for the PNY one here. That PNY, they don't even look bad, these ones. They don't even look half bad. And efficiencies, they're good. You got some good XMPs for them. Might be maybe they just haven't checked out some kits, because there's definitely a lot more kits out there than these. They more or less went after some top of the line, some cheaper ones per vendor. Not bad. Oh. Oh, I gotta do some videos about 1080 Ti and some games too here. Oh. Only got one record so far this year, which is My 3070 Ti got one record. One of the RTX benchmarks. I'm not sure which one it was, if it was Port Royal or not. Only got one record so far this year. That's why I'm working on some Xeons. I do have i7 900s as well that I can go through, see if they're any good for it. That's why I'm doing the X5650. It's 5 gigahertz. Plus, there's some tests with 5650 where they only got it up to 4.5 gigahertz. I can get a over 4.6 fairly easy on all core. Yeah, but my next kit of RAM is probably gonna be a G.Skill one. That way I can start participating in some of the G.Skill competitions. And I do need to look at some LGA 775 motherboards. I already have RAM kits for it, CPU, but I don't have a motherboard for LGA 775 anymore. Yeah, it's only so much, especially some manufacturers like PNY. That's odd that they make a RAM for DDR5, but as long as they make decent RAM kits, which these are, they're really good. XMP as well, XMP and Expo, so Intel or AMD, perfect. And that's probably almost going to be about the end of this stream. I do have to get some videos here made. Make some videos and figure out how to overclock this Xeon to 5.2 gigahertz. Because I've never gotten it up to 5.2. Only 5 gigahertz so far is the best I've gotten. And RAM speed, I haven't even worked on the RAM speed at 5 gigahertz yet, but we'll have to figure it out. So that's probably it, guys, and I'll probably be back on later. I'll see if I can do a late night one like I used to do around 8 o'clock, 8:30. Hey, what up there, Joe? Thanks. Yeah, it has been a while. I've been trying to do some morning streams. I should get back into the afternoon streams again, like the 8:30 streams, and then finishing whatever I am finishing. But that's when I was doing a lot of overclocking. I just find, and what a lot of people have been finding, is really boring and kind of makes sense. But I would like to start those streams again, especially when I want to get some more records on some CPUs, some motherboards. Hopefully my streams are looking better. I'm trying to stream in 4K now. Might not be a perfect 4K stream, but I'm hoping my streams are looking a lot better. You'll be asleep for the afternoons? Oh no. So these early morning ones good for you then? I'm usually up till like almost 1 or 2 a.m. every night, so it doesn't matter if I'm up early or not. All right, take her easy, Joe. Have a good day at work. It was a really short stream. I need to get some videos done. A lot of people are liking these videos I've been doing lately on certain games and that. There's a lot to tune on your CPUs and GPUs, and a lot to tune on RAM as well for each of these games. Would like to put out some videos on those. Midnight stuff for you? Gotcha. Yeah, it's because you're in a different part of the world. Way different. It's good to be busy though, right? It's been busy for me too. I've recorded over 30 terabytes of videos, gotten rid of I don't know how many of them, but it's like literally 30 terabytes of videos. Brutal. And gone through them, editing them, and then deleting a whole bunch of them. It's just brutal. I'm rocking 96 gigabytes of DDR5 CL32. That is good kit. Party woohoo! Did I need that much? Nah, I'm silly. Nah, that's 96 gigabytes. Most people don't need that amount. I don't know what a lot of these, like TechRaider and them, are saying for content creators for having more RAM. You don't really need that much RAM. Not unless you're editing 8K videos, which most people only do in 4K. So 48 gigabyte kits are just fine. Most people are good with 32. Appreciate the content so far. I'll try to comment more. In a way, you can use more RAM, and it is nicer to have more RAM. 50 terabyte RAM kits, let's go. Yeah, I think AMD Threadrippers go up to like 1.2 terabytes of RAM, which is insane. Yeah, 96 gigabytes though, it's a lot. Those are high density sticks. Or you have 4 by 24, which is still high density. If they're 4 by 24, generally they're Hynix M die, which nice to have too. What frequency are those kits at? If you're still here, they're, I don't want to mess up your name, Atham. Those are the 6000 CL32 kit. Those Dells on eBay are selling like hot cakes. Yeah, they generally do, man. Those I don't know. They generally do sell like hotcakes. I should bring up my server again. I should bring up my dual CPU server. I would have to get a whole bunch, well, at least a RAM kit. Or pretty sure I have, from what I looked at, I have to buy 2 different RAM kits, which are the same RAM kits, but I need 2 RAM kits to fill up 6,000. Yeah, 6,000. I thought so. 6,000 is generally, the kits are around CL30, CL32, so. And 6,000 at 9600, or 6,000 mega transfers at 96 gigs CL32. It's a good kit. Cannot say anything bad about that. Yeah, I'm looking right now. I've been looking, well, saving up for another motherboard, either DDR4 or DDR5, so that way I can make an actual streaming PC, strictly streaming. Because I'm set up for dual PC setup. Kingston Fury 2x40. Oh, 2x40 high density sticks. Wow. Those are generally not cheap. Yeah, I just rock 7200 CL36 kit, and they are 2x24 NXM die, which are Corsair Dominator titaniums, which are plenty for the 4K video editing that I do, and for gaming and streaming. Or most time, what I'm doing is, if I am gaming, in streaming, I am recording at the same time, which having more RAM does help in that case. But you also need a CPU that can handle that as well. I have a 13900K, so having all those extra cores helps a lot. I mean, a lot. That's why a lot of people say, yeah, the 9800X3D is a good chip. It's a good chip if you're strictly gaming. If you're gaming and streaming, you're losing quite a bit of performance. If you're streaming and recording at the same time, gaming, streaming, and recording at the same time, the performance is terrible, which is not great. It's only because it's an 8 core 16 thread CPU. It's more or less why. But a lot of content creators got the either a 12700K or up CPU, so 12900K, 13900K, 14900K, those CPUs. Content creators are using those ones just because it has so many cores. They can stream, record, and game at the same time on the same PC, or they can just make a complete streaming PC that, again, has lots of cores, because you gotta want the cores while streaming and recording. And then they also have RAM kits, either 48 or up to 192 gigabytes. Yeah, it is an absolute beast. It is a beast. I am on a custom water loop, 360 mil custom water loop, custom monoblock for the actual motherboard I'm using. EK monoblock. Kind of need it. The 12600K, I cannot say anything wrong with the 12600K. Nice low powered CPU, 10 core, 16 thread CPU, so it works great. Like, it works just fine, to be honest. GPU I'm using is a 3070 Ti. Yeah, 8 gigabyte card, but for all these games, for a lot of games I've tested, it works just fine. I just came out with a video here about, what's it called? Give me one sec here. Some sort of Monster Hunter game, I believe it's called. So Monster Hunter Wild, that's it. Yeah, so I did a video on that, 13900K plus 3070 Ti, 1080p ultra settings, everything cranked up high as it can go, and it still does over 20,000 points for it, which is what you're looking for. You still using the EK for the i9? Yeah, and yeah, I haven't read much about the EK anymore. Not sure if they're still doing anything or if they actually are done making blocks. Haven't really kept up to date on that. I did a live stream earlier today going over the performance of the 9070. Show blah 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 here. So AMD did a thing, and they put out some performances for the 9070 XT and 9070. They put the 97 XT up against the 7900 GRE, mainly because it's a 16 gigabyte card versus 16 gigabyte card. They did a bunch of tests in that and said it was at 1440p ultra settings, which is what I got these scores from another YouTuber called ZWorms. He does a lot of reviews too. He did it at 1440p ultra settings for these games. I did a quick math on it while during the live stream, and showed the actual, like, what you're looking for, average frames and wattage. They're saying it's gonna be a 300 watt 300 300, 330 watt card, depending on the model you get when it comes out. But apparently 38% average on 30 games, better than a 7900 GRE. So like Ghost of Tsushima, whatever it's called, 179 frames. BMW, which is Black Myth Wukong, 141. Again, this Ultra 1440p. CS2 414 average. CP, which is Cyberpunk, 124. COD 200 average. HF Horizon Forbidden, 179. Battlefield 2042, 151. RD2, so Red Dead Redemption 2, 138. GTA 5, 179. Hogwarts Legacy, whatever the new game is, 138 average, and Apex is 358, which is crazy. Crazy. If these are true, again, this is AMD claiming these, and AMD also claimed and said, oh, we didn't have the 5070 Ti in our lab to test it out against the 5070 Ti, blah, blah, blah. So I'll have to go check out, again, these games and some other games that the 5070 Ti's already done, and see if it's about the same performance or better on these games. We'll have to see. And all these were done with 9000X 3D. Alright, but yeah, that's probably gonna be it for this stream, guys. I do have to go get a lot of overclocking done here, make a bunch of videos, edit videos, delete videos, redo videos, generally how it goes. So we'll be working on some of those, and not sure who subscribed again, but thank you for the subscription. We'll be probably live streaming later on today. Could be doing it in a few hours, could be doing it later on, probably later on, because I do have, again, a lot of videos to make. Yeah, man, thank you for stopping by again. Hopefully you have a good day or night. I forgot which way we go there. And yeah, thanks. As always,